Hi guys. So our learning target in reading today is I can identify fiction and nonfiction texts. So what we're going to be working on, or what we're going to review today, is what a fiction text is. So the first thing, I made this cute little anchor chart here, and this little girl holding a book. One side is fiction, one side is nonfiction. The very first thing I want to say about fiction, this is what helps me remember what fiction is fiction is fake, okay? So fiction, and I'm going to write it right here, fake, okay? Fiction is fake. They are not real, okay? The purpose, the reason that we read fiction books is to entertain us. So just for something fun. So the purpose is to entertain. Okay. So we're not reading it to learn something. We're just reading it for fun because it's something that we like to read about. That's fun. Now I'm going to name a couple of things about a fiction book, okay? So one, we read fiction books to enjoy, okay? Read to enjoy. They are fake. Their purpose is to entertain us. We read them to enjoy. We also read in order, just like we've been talking about with our 5-finger retail. Okay, we read in order. We have the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, so read in order. Beginning, middle, end. Okay, so we have our beginning, middle, end. In a fiction, fake story, there are story elements, okay? Story elements. What that is referring to is characters, settings, events, problem, and solution. And then in fiction stories, there are always drawings, okay? So we have drawings or illustrations. Drawings, illustrations means something someone drew. Illustrations. Okay, so we're going to go back over this as I show you those things in a couple of my different fiction books that I have here, okay? So we have, actually, I wanted to do one more thing. We have our story elements. This is like what we've been working on with our 5-finger retail, okay? So I want to put that in there because we have our beginning, middle, end. We have our characters and our setting, okay? Those we always have in fiction books, but I wanted that visual there, okay? So I have my peanut butter and cupcake book right here. The first thing is they are fake. Do you think that peanut butter bread and cupcakes can really play soccer or jump on pogo sticks? No. So again, fiction means fake. The purpose of a fiction book is to entertain. This is something fun, just silly for us to read, but it has a story behind it, right? It's not teaching us anything. It's not teaching us about bread or cupcakes, it's just a story about them. It's to entertain us, okay? So the purpose is to entertain. We read it to enjoy, and you have to read these stories in order, because when you're reading it, then you have your beginning, middle, and end, okay? So you need to read it in order. You always start on the first page, then you read the next page, and that gives you the whole story, the beginning, the middle, and the end. It also has story elements. There are characters. So in this story, some of our characters are egg, peanut butter, soup, jelly, okay? There are different characters in fiction books. There's settings, so we can tell on each of these pages where the setting is. It looks like on almost every page, they're outside, they're outside, they're outside, they're outside. So it has a setting, okay? Events. In this book, if you were to read it, you'd know the events were peanut butter just moved, needed new friends, tried to ask all these different people to play with him, and no one would play with him. And in the end, he met Jelly, and peanut butter and jelly go together, and they played together. So there were events. The problem was no one would play with him. The solution was Jelly played with him, okay? So in a fiction book, you have all of those elements, okay? And that's, in a fiction book, we're able to do our 5-finger retell, okay? And then there's always drawings and illustrations. Now, this one's funny because it uses real pictures of like peanut butter or cupcakes, but everything else, like the grass, is all drawn, okay? So some of the things in here are real, but the rest is drawn. So in fiction books, you have drawings and illustrations. So here's another fiction book I have, Pete the Cat and the Perfect Pizza Party. Again, it's fake. It's not real. The purpose of reading it is to entertain, okay? We read it to enjoy. It's something, we're not learning from it. We just enjoy reading it, okay? You have to read it in order. It has the characters, the setting, the beginning, the middle, and the end, okay? There are also story elements. Character, setting, events, problem, and solution. And these are all illustrations or drawings in this picture, okay? So those are the characteristics of a fiction or fake. I always remember fiction, fake. They both start with F. So those are the characteristics of a fiction book. Your job today is to, in Raz Kids, on your level, whatever level you're at, choose any fiction book that you want to read, okay? You get to choose which fiction book you want to read, because then it's at your level. Then in Seesaw, you're going to do the assignment where you're going to tell us what fiction book you read and why or how you knew it was fiction. So your job would be to then tell us that, well, I know it's fiction because it's a book that I read to entertain. Okay, I read it because I enjoy it. Or I have to read it in order so that I can tell the beginning, the middle, and the end. Or I read it and there were characters, settings, there was events, different events that happened. There was a problem, there was a solution, and there were drawings. So your job, pick any book you want in Raz Kids, and then in Seesaw, you need to record yourself telling us about what fiction book you chose and how or why you knew it was fiction, okay? All right, I can't wait to hear about all your fiction stories. Have fun, you guys.